Question 131. What routing protocol in the TCP/IP measures route efficiency based on the number of hops from the source to the destination? A. Border Gateway Protocol. B. Intermediate System to Intermediate System. C. Open Shortest Path First. D. Routing Information Protocol. Correct answer. D. Routing Information Protocol. RIP, Routing Information Protocol, is a distance vector routing protocol in the TCP/IP, Transmission Control Protocol/Internet Protocol. RIP uses the number of hops as a metric to evaluate the efficiency of the route between the source and destination, with a maximum of 15 hops. Each time a packet passes through a router, the hop count increases by 1. If a route has more than 15 hops, it is considered unreachable, helping to prevent routing loops. Question 132. What is the wireless security protocol that employs CCMPAES as its encryption method? A. TKIP, B. WEP, C. WPA, D. WPA2. Correct answer. D. WPA2. UPA2, Wi-Fi Protected Access 2, is a wireless network security protocol developed to enhance protection compared to earlier protocols. WAP, WEP. It uses CCMP, counter mode with cipher block chaining message authentication code protocol, based on AES, Advanced Encryption Standard, for data encryption, providing a higher level of security than TKIP, Temporal Key Integrity Protocol, used in WPA. Question 133. What methods can be used to implement port security on an Ethernet switch from the options provided? A. Blacklisted MAC addresses. B. Port-by-port MAC address filtering. C. Spoofed MAC addresses. D. Whitelisted MAC addresses. Correct answer. B. Port-by-port MAC address filtering. Each network device has a unique MAC address that is used to identify the device on the network. Port-by-port MAC address filtering is a security technique used on Ethernet switches to control and manage which devices can connect to each port on the switch. This technique allows administrators to specify a list of valid MAC addresses for each port, preventing unauthorized devices from connecting to the network. It helps control access and prevent potential attacks by restricting connectivity to only trusted devices. Question 134. What device establishes the administrative boundaries on a switched network that are typically defined by VLANs? A. Bridges. B. Domains. C. Hubs. D. Routers. Correct answer. D. Routers. VLAN, Virtual Local Area Network, is used in a switched network to logically segment the network, allowing devices to communicate as if they are on the same physical network, even if they are on different switches. A router is a network device that operates at the network layer, Layer 3, of the OSI, Open Systems Interconnection Model, and plays a crucial role in managing communication between VLANs. When VLANs need to communicate with each other, the router acts as a bridge, routing data from one VLAN to another. The router creates an administrative boundary for the VLANs, enabling traffic control and ensuring that data is forwarded accurately between different networks. Question 135. In local area networking, which is not a type of bridge? A. Multiport. B. Routing. C. Store and forward. D. Transparent. Correct answer. B. Routing. Bridges function at the data link layer, layer 2, in networking. It is important to note that routing, on the other hand, operates at the network layer, layer 3, and should not be considered a type of bridge. A store and forward bridge, also known as a simple bridge, evaluates each packet and determines whether to forward it to the connected network. In contrast, a transparent bridge builds a database of forwarding information using the packets it has previously processed. A multi-port bridge facilitates connections to multiple networks, with a switch being an example of a multi-port bridge. Question 136. Which device facilitates communication between two computers that are utilizing different protocols at each layer of the Open Systems Interconnection Reference Model? A. A gateway. B. A hub. C. A router. D. A switch. Correct answer. A. A gateway. A gateway operates at multiple layers of the OSI model and is capable of translating protocols, such as converting data from one network format to another. It can connect networks that use different protocols, allowing communication between them. Gateways are typically used to connect networks with different architectures, such as connecting local area networks to wide area networks or connecting networks that use different communication technologies. Question 137. What RAID level lacks fault tolerance capabilities? A. RAID 0. B. RAID 1. C. RAID 5. D. RAID 10. Correct answer. A. RAID 0. RAID 0, redundant array of independent disks 0, is a RAID configuration that performs only disk striping without any data redundancy, parity, or data mirroring. It helps increase data transfer speed, but it lacks fault tolerance, meaning that if any disk in the RAID 0 array fails, all data across the array will be lost. Question 138. What is the primary result of an organization's security incident response policies? A. To document the procedures leading up to an incident. B. To identify the cause of an incident. C. To know how to respond to a particular incident. D. To prevent an incident from occurring again. Correct answer. D. To prevent an incident from occurring again. The incident response policy is a crucial component of an organization's information security strategy. The goal of this policy is to ensure that the organization has a clear and effective process in place for handling security incidents when they occur while minimizing damage and preventing similar incidents from happening in the future. Question 139. What type of network documentation is typically superimposed on architectural drawings or blueprints? A. Cable diagram. B. Management information base. C. Network diagram. D. Network map. Correct answer. A. Cable diagram. A network diagram is a drawing overlaid on an architectural or design blueprint to describe the structure of a computer network. It allows network administrators, system engineers, and other stakeholders to easily visualize how devices and network components are connected and interact with each other, aiding in the design, implementation, and management of the network system. Question 140. What storage technique prevents version skew from happening during a system backup? A. Differentials. B. Incrementals. C. Iterations. D. Snapshots. Correct answer. D. Snapshots. Snapshots are a storage technique that captures the state of a system at a specific point in time, allowing for a consistent backup of data without version skew. A snapshot records the exact state of the data, ensuring that all files are backed up in a consistent manner. This prevents version skew, which could occur if files are modified during a backup process. Question 141. What type of media cannot be used by Windows Server Backup to store backup data? A. Local hard disks. B. Local optical disks. C. Magnetic tape drives. D. Remote shared folders. Correct answer. C. Magnetic tape drives. Windows Server Backup is a built-in backup tool in Windows Server versions, designed to help administrators back up and restore data and systems on a server. This tool provides basic yet essential features for maintaining data integrity and minimizing the risk of data loss. Supported storage media. Internal hard drives. The most common storage medium for backups, remote shared folders. Allows backups to be stored on network folders or other servers. Optical drives. Uses DVD or Blu-ray discs to store backups. Question 142. What storage technique prevents version skew from happening during a system backup? A. Differentials. B. Incrementals. C. Iterations. D. Snapshots. Correct answer. D. Snapshots. Snapshots are a storage technique that captures the state of a system at a specific point in time, allowing for a consistent backup of data without version skew. A snapshot records the exact state of the data, ensuring that all files are backed up in a consistent manner. This prevents version skew, which could occur if files are modified during a backup process. Question 143. What term is used to describe an individual computer within a load balancing cluster? A. Box. B. Host. C. Node. D. Server. Correct answer. B. Host. In a load balancing cluster, each computer in the cluster is referred to as a host. These hosts work together to evenly distribute the load between them, ensuring high performance and minimizing the risk of service disruption. In a failover cluster, each computer in the cluster is referred to as a node. In these clusters, nodes work to ensure continuous availability of services. If one node fails, another node takes its place to maintain service without interruption. Question 144. Which of the following is not considered a fault tolerance mechanism? A. Clustering. B. RAID 1. C. SNMP. D. UPS. Correct answer. C. SNMP. SNMP, Simple Network Management Protocol, is a standard protocol used to manage and monitor devices within a computer network. SNMP allows network devices such as routers, switches, servers, and other equipment to communicate with each other and provide information about the operational status of the network system. Question 145. When a service failure occurs on a Windows server, which event log typically records an entry? A. Application. B. Security. C. Setup. D. System. Correct answer. D. System. System Event Log is a component of the event log system in Windows, used to record events related to the operation of the operating system and core system services, such as hardware, device drivers, and other system services. It helps system administrators analyze issues and troubleshoot problems, enabling them to develop solutions for system-related errors or failures. Question 146. Which of the following protocols is not used for remote control of computers? A. RDP, B. SSH, C. TFTP, D. TELNET. Correct answer: C. TFTP. TFTP, Trivial File Transfer Protocol, is a simple file transfer protocol designed to support the transfer of small files over a network without the need for complex features such as user authentication or data encryption. This protocol is commonly used for updating or recovering software on devices such as routers and switches, as well as for storing configuration files for network devices. Question 147. What type of hardware devices use MAC filtering as a technique for access control? A. Domain controller, B. Radius server, C. Smart cards, D. Wireless access point. Correct answer: D. Wireless access point. Wireless access point is a network device that allows wireless devices to connect to a local area network via radio waves. This device uses access control techniques such as MAC filtering to limit which devices are allowed to connect to the network, enhancing security. UAPs are commonly used in wireless networks, Wi-Fi, to extend the range of connectivity and provide internet access to wireless devices. MAC filtering, a technique used to allow or deny connections from devices based on their MAC address. Question 148. What term most describes the phenomenon of signal degradation as signals travel through a network medium? A. Absorption, B. Attenuation, C. Crosstalk, D. Latency. Correct answer: B. Attenuation. Attenuation is the phenomenon where the signal strength diminishes as it travels over long distances through a transmission medium, such as network cables or air in wireless networks. This attenuation can negatively impact the accuracy of the received data, as the weakening signal may lead to errors or reduced quality of communication. Question 149. Which of the following is not a tool capable of scanning for vulnerabilities? A. App Toolkit, B. MBSA, C. Nessus, D. Nmap. Correct answer: A. MAP Toolkit. MAP Toolkit, Microsoft Assessment and Planning Toolkit, is a tool primarily used for assessing and planning IT infrastructure by collecting information about the hardware and software of a system within a network environment. This tool helps identify factors in the IT infrastructure that could impact the implementation of projects or transitions, such as migrations or upgrades. Question 150. Henry, a first-tier support technician, is responsible for managing a variety of help desk calls. His job is to prioritize these calls according to their level of severity. Which of the following issues should Henry prioritize as the most critical? A. A fatal error that causes a single computer to fail. B. A problem with a mission-critical backbone router that affects an entire network. C. A problem with an application server that affects a single LAN. D. A problem with an order entry or customer service call center resource that affects an entire department with multiple local area networks. Correct answer: B. A problem with a mission-critical backbone router that affects an entire network. Severity levels in IT support refer to the categorization of issues based on their impact on systems, services, or users. It helps to prioritize how quickly problems should be addressed to ensure critical issues are resolved first. Priority 1, critical, issues that affect the entire system or critical services, causing major disruptions or complete system outages. Priority 2, high. Issues that affect important systems or services but do not cause a complete disruption. Priority 3, medium. Issues that affect a small number of users or non-critical systems. Priority 4, low. Issues that cause minor inconvenience to users and do not affect the overall functionality of the organization. Question 151. Liam is managing an older network that includes a Windows Internet Name Service server, a domain name system server, and an internet router. One user has reported suddenly being unable to connect to hosts on other internal networks, although they can still access resources on their local network and browse the internet. In a discussion with the user, Liam discovers that they recently modified certain internet protocol settings on their computer. Based on this, what should Liam do next? A. Verify that the DNS server is up and running and properly configured. B. Verify that the WINS server is up and running and properly configured. C. Verify that the router is up and running and properly configured. D. Verify that the user's IP configuration settings are correct. Correct answer. D. Verify that the user's IP configuration settings are correct. In this case, the connection issue could be caused by changes to the user's Internet Protocol IP settings. Since the user can still access resources on the local network and browse the internet but is having trouble connecting to servers on other internal networks, it suggests a problem with the internal network configuration. Because users recently modified their IP settings, it's important to verify the IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, and DNS server settings on their device. If the IP settings are incorrect, it could lead to communication issues within the internal network, while still allowing internet browsing if the default gateway is set incorrectly. Question 152. What netstat command would you use to display the count of IPv6 packets received on a Windows workstation? A. Netstat -A -B netstat -E -C netstat -R -D netstat -. Correct answer. D. Netstat -. Netstat - as command provides detailed statistics about network protocols, including the number of packets sent and received, as well as errors related to protocols such as TCP, UDP, and IPv6. It also displays other useful information that can help diagnose network issues. Question 153. Network administrators may build PCs that serve as alluring targets for attackers but do not give users access to any legitimately sensitive services or data. What this technique called? A. DMZ, B. Honeypot, C. Root guard, D. Spoofing. Correct answer. B. Honeypot. A honeypot is a computer system that is set up to attract and trap attackers. It is often used to gather information about attackers and their techniques. Honeypots are typically not connected to any critical systems, so they do not pose a security risk to the organization. A demilitarized zone, DMZ, is a part of a network that is separated from the rest of the network by firewalls. The DMZ is used to host servers that need to be accessible from the internet, such as web servers and email servers. This helps to protect the internal network from attacks that originate from the internet. Root guard is a feature of switches that prevents unauthorized devices from becoming the root bridge of a network. The root bridge is the device that controls the traffic in a network. Root guard helps to prevent attackers from taking control of the network. Spoofing is a technique that attackers use to disguise their identity. This can be done by modifying the source address of a packet to make it appear as if the packet came from a different computer. Spoofing can be used to launch attacks, such as denial of service attacks and man-in-the-middle attacks. Question 154. Which of the following types of attacks are account lockout policies designed to protect against? A. Brute force. B. Man-in-the-middle. C. Social engineering. D. Spoofing. Correct answer. A. Brute force. Among the various types of attacks, a brute force password attack involves the perpetrator attempting numerous passwords in order to deduce or guess the correct one. Account lockout policies are implemented to counteract this specific attack by restricting the number of incorrect password attempts allowed. Question 155. As the IT director, you are facing the task of adhering to the safety policies of the acquiring firm after your company's acquisition. One of these policies mandates a fail-closed approach for the data center. Which of the following options best explains the actions that should be taken in the event of an emergency, as dictated by this policy? A. All computers that are logged on should automatically log off. B. All computers that are running should automatically shut down. C. All doors that are normally locked should open themselves. D. All doors that are normally open should lock themselves. Correct answer. D. All doors that are normally open should lock themselves. A fail-closed policy for a data center specifies that any open doors should lock themselves in the event of an emergency. This is done to prevent unauthorized access to the data center and to protect the data from damage. To support this policy, the data center will need to have a self-contained fire suppression system. This type of system uses devices such as fire detectors and oxygen-displacing gas systems to extinguish fires. The fire detectors will sense the presence of fire and activate the suppression system. The suppression system will then release a gas that displaces the oxygen in the air, suffocating the fire. The self-contained fire suppression system is important for supporting the fail-closed policy because it will prevent the doors from opening in the event of a fire. This will help to protect the data from damage and prevent unauthorized access to the data center. Question 156. What is the fire suppression system that is most frequently recommended for data centers? A. Carbon dioxide. B. Foam. C. HFC 125. D. Water. Correct answer. C. HFC 125. HFC 125 is a hydrofluorocarbon gas that is used as a fire suppression agent in many applications, including large data centers. It is a clean agent, meaning that it does not leave any residue behind after it is used, and it is non-conductive, so it does not damage electrical equipment. It is also less toxic than carbon dioxide, which is another common fire suppression agent. HFC 125 works by absorbing heat from the fire, which helps to extinguish it. It is a very effective fire suppression agent, and it is also relatively safe to use. However, it does have a high global warming potential, so it is not a sustainable choice for all applications. Question 157. When IP addresses are no longer in use by clients, which DHCP address allocation method allows the server to reclaim them? A. Automatic E. B. Dynamic. C. Manual. D. Static. Correct answer. B. Dynamic. Dynamic allocation is a DHCP feature that allows clients to lease IP addresses from the server for a specified period of time. When the lease expires, the client can renew it if it is still using the address. If the address is no longer in use, it is returned to the pool of available addresses for other clients to use. Automatic allocation is a DHCP feature that permanently assigns an IP address from the scope to a client. This means that the client will always have the same IP address, even if it is turned off or rebooted. Manual and static allocation are two terms that describe the allocation of a specific IP address to a specific client. Manual allocation is when the network administrator manually assigns an IP address to a client. Static allocation is when the network administrator configures the client to always use a specific IP address. Question 158. Which cloud service model does Microsoft's Outlook.com email service fall under? A. DOS. B. IaaS. C. PaaS. D. SaaS. Correct answer. D. SaaS. SaaS provides users with access to a specific application that is hosted and managed by a third-party provider. Users have control over some of the application's features, but they do not have control over the underlying infrastructure. IaaS provides users with access to basic computing resources, such as processing, storage, and networking. Users have complete control over these resources, which gives them flexibility and control over their cloud environment. PaaS provides users with a development platform that includes programming languages, development tools, and runtime environments. Users can use this platform to develop, deploy, and manage their own applications. DOS provides users with a virtual desktop environment that is hosted and managed by a third-party provider. Users can access their desktop applications and files from any device with an internet connection. Question 159. Choose the option which is not a type of fiber optic connector. A. D, B, and C. B, M, T, R, J. C, S, C. D, S, T. Correct answer. A, D, B, N, C. The bayonet Neal-Konselman connector is commonly employed with coaxial cable, while the subscriber connector, mechanical transfer register jack, and straight tip connectors are all examples of fiber optic connectors. Question 160. Which is not one of the standard terms used in data loss prevention? A. Data at rest. B. Data in motion. C. Data in use. D. Data online. Correct answer. D. Data online. Data online is not a recognized term in data loss prevention. The term data at rest is used to refer to data that is currently stored but not actively being used. On the other hand, data in motion is the term used to describe data that is being transmitted over a network. Lastly, data in use refers to data that is actively being processed or accessed by endpoints. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful for you, don't forget to like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more practice questions and tips.